Welcome to the Muckster Show. The Muckster Show is brought to you by Kill and Time Productions. Music and graphics provided by If You Know, You Know. And now here's the man himself, Muckster.
Good morning. Well, I guess it's afternoon, really, right? Hell, it's practically evening. So, good evening, everybody. Let me just say one thing right off. As I put in the description of this video, Finkel has nothing to do with this broadcast, but I am sending it to Shadow Finkel because I know that will attract the attention of certain people. I want to see this. Speaking of Finkel, were we speaking of Finkel? I guess we were. He has a few times he said to people, quit sending me clips. Quit telling me when stuff's going on. Well, I got a clip a little while ago from somebody, and I want to tell them thank you because it gave me great joy. I watched it. I laughed. I chortled. I snickered. I may even have snorted, allegedly. And so this is the clip as I got it. I didn't edit anything out except for cropping it and taking out the comment section because we're just here to talk about what went on stage. I didn't even look at the comment section actually. I'm not exactly sure. I think this is from that boot guy who I've heard mentioned, but as far as I know, I've never had any contact with him. And our old buddy Toddler was on his panel, and for some reason I came up. I don't know what might have happened before this, if they were talking about me ahead of time, or if this was just a thing where they said, "Oh, we're going to look at this clip, Todd. This will give you a chance to comment about Muckster." I do not know, but let's watch the clip together. I only watched it through the one time, and so I'm going to be doing the thing that annoys me that people like my buddy Finkel do, and also Toddler does, and the Hill Pirates do, is constantly interrupting the video to talk about it. But I don't want to take a long time, like going through and editing comments and stuff like I usually do. So, yeah, get what you get. So let's bring it on up. So, yeah. I'm not sure. Obviously, we got Todd on there, and I think that says Boot Productions in the middle. Not sure who the guy on the bottom is. And they are obviously reviewing the Hill Pirates. So let's see what they have to say, shall we?
I'm not surprised. Like, there's not one iota of me that's like not surprised that, of course, these guys are like with Taft. Keep in mind, and Muckster, you're guilty too, bud. You're over there.
This right off, I thought, what the fuck am I guilty of? Being in somebody's audience? Okay, I'm not sure what the crime is, but apparently I'm guilty. Okay.
You guys are like watching guys in like these Sailor Man outfits. I'm just saying, it's a.
Did you hear when I speculated that I think the reason why Muckster's so mad at me is he has.
If you don't recognize the voice, that of course is my old friend Toddler, who I will say, I still can't figure out what the fuck Finkel's thinking. But anyway, let's see what the moron has to say.
The reason why Muckster's so mad at me is he has unresolved daddy issues, and I remind him of the daddy that was so masculine that Muckster couldn't come out of the closet and admit.
Oh, Todd, quit your fucking projecting. But first of all, Mr. Dropout, don't try to psychoanalyze anybody. But Todd, daddy issues? I know who both my parents were. They raised me. Nobody left me in a basket on the fire company's doorstep or whatever. I was raised by my parents. I knew my father. And I gotta tell you, if was out there looking for somebody that would be a daddy replacement, you are so far away from being what my father was. It's not funny. But hello there, Lolas. Let's continue and see. Let me see. Let me back it up a couple of seconds here. See what he has to say about my daddy issues. Hey, Stephanie. And again, Todd, I knew who my father was. I knew who my mother was. I lived with them. They raised me. I don't have to make up stories about my heritage. I know my heritage. I don't have to tell people that I was a gladiator, Viking, ninja, or whatever the hell you are this week. I know where I came from. Daddy issues. Todd, you are so humorous.
That Muckster couldn't come out of the closet and admit that he was gay. And long after his dad died,
He's like, man, my dad beat my fucking ass.
yeah, long after his father died, he's transferring I could stand up to you.
First of all, if I was gay, I wouldn't hide it. I wouldn't fucking care. Hey, Ellen, how you doing? And also, if people go back, one of my earliest videos I ever did was my mother finding out about her grandson was gay. You should watch it. It'll give you a clue to how my family looks at that sort of thing. Again, Todd, quit your fucking projecting. We all know how you're hiding in the closet. It's easy to do when you're only 3 feet tall. But quit projecting on everybody else, Todd. And I assume that's that boot guy who's laughing along and talking again. I don't know the fucking boot. I've never talked to him. Hello, Don Pneumonia. Let us continue.
I could stand up to you, Todd, you bigot, racist, homophobe.
Yes, exactly. You are a racist, bigot, misogynistic, homophobe, anti-Semitic asshole, Todd. That is why I do not like you. It has nothing to do with my daddy issues. God, you're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
I think there's a lot of
it's like
transference going on.
Ooh, transference. Nice big word there, Todd. What's going on? I didn't pause at that time. It paused itself.
Like, there's not one iota of me that's like not surprised that, of course, these guys are like with Taff. Keep in mind, and Muckster, you're guilty too, bud. You're over there.
Again, I'm guilty of something. I don't know what. And now the closed captioning said something about us being with Taft. I assume they're probably talking about Tav, the angry vet. If anybody's been paying any attention, I haven't been a very big angry vet fan in recent history. That's okay. You people, see, this is the typical Todd too. I remember when I first became aware of Todd. It's way back in the original Stone Vet days, and I remember like I checked out Stone Vet because Finkel talking about him and that. And then the one time Todd came into our channel, he came up and he kept talking about you guys say this, you guys, guilt by association because he knew I'd been at Stone Vets and obviously I was big on in on this big conspiracy against Todd, which I still don't know what the big conspiracy is, but in his mind, there's a conspiracy. People are constantly out to get him. But anyway, again, I'm guilty of something here. Let us continue. I don't think there's much left of this. I don't
You guys
know.
are like watching guys in like these Sailor Man outfits. I'm just saying it's a
Did you hear when I speculated that I think the reason why Muckster's so mad at me is he has unresolved daddy issues, and I remind him of the daddy that was so masculine that Muckster couldn't come out of the closet and admit that he was gay.
Hey, Nikki. Yeah, let's talk about this too, Todd. Actually, my father was masculine. Um, Let me tell you a little bit about my father, who was a real veteran. He served in the Navy in World War II, and after World War II, he joined the National Guard because he liked serving his country. And my father hardly ever talked about his service whatsoever, except for a few humorous stories, like when he talked about being in the Second Battle of New London, which had to do with a bunch of Marines starting some shit with a bunch of guys from his ship, and they had this big fight and got hauled into jail for the night and stuff like that. Those were the kind of war stories he told. He never told about actual war stories. Uh, yeah, I never once in my entire life heard my father ask anybody to thank him for his service. In fact, let me expand on this as far as my whole family. My one sister did some family history a while back, and it turned out that the Muckster clan, some go way back to colonial days. I've had people. This would be my father's side. I've had people in my family serve in every war this country ever had. Now there is some question about what side they were on in the revolution, but we'll just let that stay in the family history. But yeah, my father's father got a Silver Star in World War One, and he was a career Army man. Oh, there's the little dwarf right now, the funny little clown. Um, but yeah, my father's father got a Silver Star. My mother had brothers serve in World War Two. The, her one brother got a Bronze Star in World War Two, and then got a Silver Star in Korea. None of them ever said, thank me for my service. They just did what they did. They were real men, Todd. They were real veterans. And you think I have daddy issues that I'm transferring my daddy issues to an asshole like you? Todd, please. I don't know how you get the like I said, I know who I am. I know who my family is. I don't have to make up stories about their life or my life. I don't have to say that I was a semi-professional body waxer or whatever the hell you made up this time. I played high school football. I had fun. I had friends in high school. I wasn't necessarily always in. I wasn't like in the like different cliques. You know, like you have if you go by the John Hughes movies, you have like the popular kids. I don't know if I was in that Click, but if I showed up to one of their parties, nobody ever asked me to leave. I had friends, Todd. I don't know what you had in school except for these fantasies about that you used to take on the biggest guys in the football field. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Oh my God. Where the hell was I? I'm getting way off. I've been around Finkel too long. I'm rambling, going off in strange directions. Let's see what else they had to say here. And again, thank you to the person who sent me this. It has given me great enjoyment. Oh, hey, Cart, good to see you.
And long after his dad died,
He's like, man, my dad beat my fucking ass.
yeah, long after his father died, he's transferring like I could stand up to you, Todd, you bigot, racist, homophobe.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah, I
like,
think there's a lot of
it's like
transference
big.
going on.
Stop using big words, Todd, that you don't understand. Was that the? I guess that is the end of the whole thing. Again, I find it hilarious that Todd would think I could possibly see him as a father figure. You have no. Yeah, I'll tell you something else about my father, Todd. He worked his entire fucking life. He didn't sit around collecting government checks and sending his wife out to support him. That I would ever possibly have this transference and look at you as a father figure. My father was a real man. He didn't make up stories. He just did what a man had to do. And I guess that's pretty much all I had to say. I just, again, I got this clip. I looked at it. I laughed. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to go make fun of the idiot. Todd, 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 Todd. and, and I think, didn't he say something like, oh, he hates me because I remind him of his father, or he's transferring his father? Todd, that's not why I hate you, as I've said before. Hey, Kiwi, the reason I can't stand you is because you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're anti Semitic, you're a homophobe. That's why I can't stand you, Todd. So, why I would possibly have transference issues about you when you're exactly the opposite of who my father was? My God, you think an awful lot about yourself, Todd. Anyway, I guess that's all I got. Again, let me mention what I said at the beginning. I sent this to the Shadow Finkel channel just because I knew it would gain the attention of certain people. Finkel had no idea I was going to be doing this. Finkel was neither approved or disapproved of this message. Maybe, oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'm being a bad YouTube host now too, people. I should be saying, hey, look, there's 20 people in here and I only got 5 likes. I'm gonna shut this down if I don't get more likes. I'm setting a goal. I'm just setting a goal. I need 23 cents before this is over. Come on, people, start donating. Start donating. Let us see. I've message coming in. Yeah, it's yeah, little comment. Let's see. Muckster is a rabid show watcher. Todd says, Todd, if you were paying fucking attention, somebody sent this to me. The only time I've ever watched your entire show was the day when you said you were going to be talking about when you were on our panel. I think it was the day when you were on there with Logan, and you refused to answer my question that I asked several times from chat, and then came up on the panel to ask you. You never want to answer it, and Finkel covered for you. But I keep wondering, Todd, why do you keep calling Jeff meth mouth when you know that Jeff's injury came from actual combat as a real veteran? I mean, you can dislike Jeff all you want, but to denigrate somebody's combat injuries and then you call yourself a proud veteran? What is the matter with you, Todd? What is the matter with you? All you have is enemies in this world. How long do people stay at your channel? You get these best friends like Brick. Pretty soon they're gone because either they do something that upsets you or they finally realize what you're like. Oh, why did you say that Hefe? By the way, Todd, it's Senor Hefe, Senor. I saw someplace you called him Senior Hefe, Senior. Totally different word, asshole. Why did you say Jeff is a huge piece of shit and should not be allowed on YouTube? Well, I'll tell you, Todd, because at the time I was angry with him and I had misinterpreted some of the things he was doing, but I have since got to know more about him and what he's about, and I got to know more about you and what you're about, and that's why I think you're the piece of shit. And I won't be changing my opinion on that because unless you put your white robes away and do a full mea culpa and realize the kind of person you've been, no. Look, Let's Otvo is here to add to the intelligent conversation. Tab, don't take all his money. Oh, stick with me, people. Is it me or is it him? Tab, don't take all his money. Save us some. Don't know what he's talking about. Let's see. Anything else going on here? Just been catch some fish. Why do you reflect? Why do you deflect, Todd? Why? That's what Ronnie wants to know. You do that all the time. How communist of you a mukbang? Yeah, I don't know what this whole mukbang thing is that you guys do. To me, mukbang is what I did to your mother. Oh, we got anything else up there, folks? Anybody else have any words of wisdom? Come on, let's hit me. Let's hit me. Let's give me another brilliant comment. Oh my God! I ask for a brilliant comment, and look what comes in, Mister. If you can't touch it, it doesn't exist. Oh. Yes, Todd does get the strangest heroes, doesn't he? I'm glad to see the dads getting the spotlight for once. Not quite sure where you're going with that. Lawfare is a drain. Okay. Thanks for that, Let's. We'll keep that in mind. Well, good, Brick. I'm glad. You do that. You do bring humor. What else we got over here? An early unself-aware schmuck, almost unbelievable that a combat veteran and scholar such as yourself, GS, just cannot see what is right in front of him. Yeah. Did I hear another text coming in? So several people listed on that legal path. You know, yeah, I saw that. I wonder how do you sue people that you don't know the name of? You know, like I saw on there that I know Tav mentioned Todd. Um, I forget what I noticed. It was like John Doe, aka Killamilla, and there was somebody else like that. That I don't know how that works, but I also think that he's going to have a hard time winning that lawsuit. But let's see. Here's awesome. I love too that these people want to take YouTube drama into the legal system. And yes, I include Chris in this. Oh my God, they were on my sidewalk. They were coming after my kids. People are allowed to go on sidewalks, Chris. By the way, Todd, I will say, sorry to hear about your dog. I want to give a shout out to my 7th grade English teacher, Miss Goodwin. You know, it's funny, Don. My favorite teacher of all time, grammar school, high school, college, tech school, was my 7th grade English teacher. Mine was Mr. Lewis, but he was a great guy and a good teacher. And I'm sure he cringes if he ever looks at the internet and sees the way people butcher the language. Hello, Joey. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to throw the link out there if anybody's interested. Or maybe I'll just go back to messing around on the internet. It sounds like more fun. And once again, thank you to the person who sent me that clip. Isn't it funny? People love that saying about living rent free in somebody's head. They are looking at Hill Pirates and what's going on in Hill Pirates. And they have to single out Muckster, who's just in chat. If I was there at the time, I assume I probably was. But it's like, yeah, obviously I am unimportant to them, but they had to bring me up in Hello Summer. Anybody else notice Toddler's dog so deleted just to... I won't make fun of dead dogs. I got my lines. Do, 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 do. So, anybody else got any words of wisdom for me? Brick, where'd you go, Brick? Say something intelligent before I forget. Thanks, folks, for coming in. And yes, Stephanie, I do have lines. There are lines I will not cross that a lot of people seem to have no trouble with, like making fun of the fact that somebody had a miscarriage or somebody's husband died or something like that that I have seen some of these people do out there. I don't know how they live with themselves. Or very good, Rick. You're showing your age. Can I just mention, speaking of low lives, and this isn't about Todd. Whenever I saw the thing about Lupe and the shit she was saying about Spider Dog and his brother, I mean that's line crossing of the first degree. And in case you folks don't know, I'm going to tell you. Spider Dog has a brother who has Down syndrome. And at first I saw him saying about that she calls his brother Mongo. I didn't know why. Right off when I hear Mongo, I think of the Alex Karras character in Blazing Saddles. And then when mentioned about Down syndrome, I thought, oh, so this lady who claims to be a nurse is calling him Mongo because they used to call Down syndrome Mongoloid. I mean, right off, that's like, for anybody, that's disgusting. But for a nurse to do that, and then she's making all these like uh, things up about him having sex with his brother and all this shit. It's just disgusting. She's a disgusting human being. Yeah, there's a line I won't cross. Yeah, Shinomi Muck, I just don't know how to behave amongst the zombies. Stephanie says it's good to see you, Brick. And by the way, Brick, I make fun of you sometimes for good reason, but if you ever want to stop in while we're having a panel, I won't kick you out. Let's see. My nephews and nieces will get all of my clamshells. You know, there's something else I've seen people talk about when they're talking about Chris Ryder. Something they're like saying that about one of Tiffany's kids sat on his lap or something, and you're exploding that into a whole pedophile thing. And yes, I will say pedophile on YouTube. I'll also mention murder, kill, suicide, rape. But anyway, the kid sat on his lap. Big fucking deal. And get ready to make a clip. Because I'll tell you this right now. I have nephews and nieces, and I have slept in the same bed as my nephews a couple of times when they were little. Quick, put that out there. Muckster slept with little kids. and they've sat on my lap. And I used to change diapers. Oh my God, I saw my niece naked. What is wrong with you people that you got to make everything into something? It's your fucking mind. You know that? It's your fucking minds. If you see a girl sitting on a guy's lap and right off you're thinking something dirty, that is your fucking mind. Let's see what else we got here. Lupe thinks I live in Solomon Islands and has been shown pictures. Some poor lady she thinks is me. Oh God. I think there's a lot Lupe hasn't studied. I wonder if it's even true that she's a nurse. Uh, just Muckster, they can find video of Chris talking about adopted daughter. I found it if you would like to see it. Is he talking in a sexually suggestive way or something? Because this is another thing of mine. I mean, yeah, if you want to send me something, go ahead. Uh, I've decided from now on, whatever people are saying about people on YouTube, if it's not something I myself have witnessed and they don't show an unedited video, I'm not believing it. If somebody says to me, you know, Let's Otvo um, murdered somebody's dog, show me the fucking video. Caruso doesn't know what a nom de plume means. A little boy who shows off his household appliances because he's responsible. Get a thesaurus or a dictionary, mate. I don't know who Caruso is, but for the edification of my audience, some of you at this point in time may not be very well educated. Nom de plume is French, and it means nom of the plume. Actually, it means pen name. You know, when Stephen King wrote as Richard Bachman, he was using a nom de plume. Reminder, the button, like the Alamo. I think Let's is reminding you to give me a like. I appreciate that. Nope, no laugh mentioned. Well, I mean, even if it's like saying anything out of line about the girl, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it so I can judge when people are talking about. But I've just, yeah, I did a little video about this. Here's an example of what YouTube and the internet are like, at least as far as the people that we all kind of know in the circle. The other day, I was watching Killa's video, and I like Killa. I'd love to sit down with him. I think if he would take some of my advice, his channel would go through the roof. But that's beside the point. But he's a guy I think that he tries to be fair a lot of times, and he tries to look at both sides. But he does have a lot of the attitude of the toddler people, and so they were doing a thing about the whiny vet and his interaction with cops. And of course, the vet was wrong about everything, and he should go to jail and be executed and whatever. And I'm telling you right now, if that video, if you replaced the whiny vet with generally spastic, those people would have all been sitting there going, what is wrong with fucking cops in this country? Why are they persecuting him? People find it impossible to be objective whatsoever. You know, you gotta look at each situation as it is and take your personal feelings out of it, especially when we're talking about things like people's civil rights. As I mentioned in the small video I did, I always like the saying, and I paraphrase, it's like I disagree completely with what you have to say, but I will defend with my life your right to say it. I've always believed that. I've known that for phrase for a long time because I actually went to high school. But that's the way America's supposed to be, you know? Like, hey, let's go back to me and Todd. Things Todd says disgust me, but I would never say that the government should come in and arrest him for being a racist. It's his right, you know? You say they literally twist everything in their sick little narrative. Yes, that's true, Ronnie. That's what people do. And it's one thing, like, a lot of times I might watch something and I'll find a reason to like make a joke. You know, let's say it's, Todd or somebody else or Chris Ryder, who I have a lot of problems with right now. I'll make a joke about it, but I won't actually try to twist the meaning of it just because I don't like the person. Rick says every person is different, every situation is different. This is true. Judge each on its own merit. Uh, PMS swag will wash Todd's nuts at all costs, even if it means being untruthful. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that guy, but I've noticed it. And again, you see these people, and I mean, I've been aware of Todd for what, like a year now or something. And he has this history of these people that join his camp and are, his adoring followers, and then they just disappear, you know? There's no friendship with that. I mean, me and Finkel have had our disagreements. You don't see me saying I'm done with him. I will gladly come in here and, put my own crap on his channel because that's just the kind of guy I am. I'm nice that way. I will gladly come into Finkel's panels anytime and take over and kick people out because, um, I've got a generous spirit. Let's see what else we got. Clay trying to be profound. Is that Brick? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I make fun of Brick, but he has his moments though too sometimes. Let's see. The simplest answer is usually the right one. Now, see, Brick, you're starting to remind me of Todd here. A lot of times when I'll see clips of him, what was the one I saw him the other day? He was talking about God, which he claims to know about. You know, Todd's one of those Christians who doesn't like brown people or whatever. But anyway, he's saying something like, "Did God dream us, or did we dream God, or something?" It's like he'll go and find these things that some philosopher said 500 years ago, and now he tries to pass it off as an original, deep thought. I'm sorry, Todd. You can't get away with that shit from people who have an actual education. Let's see. I didn't really mean to be here this long, and I'm not going to let this turn into another 10-hour marathon like we did the other day. When you're not capable or intelligent enough to defend your own words or actions, go to accusing person of ultimate sin like they do on Todd's channel, you're pathetic. Yes. Very often they go for the personal instead of what the person's actually talking about. Muck, you're so adorable. Well, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. Well, if you read all the comments, you'd see Terry admitted I have been coaching him. I got him away from that death metal stuff, and I'm bringing out his true voice. Let's see. Thanksgiving on this channel is very important for memories. Oh, oh, I gotta get back to Ariel. We were working on a special song, and we've only got a couple weeks left now to put it up for Thanksgiving. It's all about the Great Thanksgiving Day Massacre. Todd got a lot of his quips from me. I believe that. I actually believe that, Brick. I have seen him steal from other people. I'll see him say stuff. Like I said, he loves to steal like old things that he think will make him sound smart. But he'll like give you an example. I saw he claimed that he's the one who started calling Jeff Hefe, although he said Yefe. And I can remember way back in the original Stone Vet days that people were calling Jeff Hefe. I mean, it's kind of an obvious. You just take one F and put the E on there, and he's Hefe now. But yeah, I've seen Todd do that before with stuff, and he thinks he made up a word or whatever. Todd doesn't like people rearranging his furniture. He was always twisting them, though. Yeah, I believe that too. Indubitably. Yeah. Yeah, what was the other word he said the other day that he do not use big words if you do not know how to say them. Because again, there are people out here who know what the word is supposed to be. Oh, you think Clark? I don't know. Todd seems to just let this stuff roll right off of him. I'll bet you the next time he goes live, my name won't come up at all because he's that kind of guy. It just it just rolls off, or maybe it goes over his head, which I won't make a short joke about that. But yeah, Todd doesn't. Todd's another one of these guys I've seen. And see now, just to show them equal opportunity, Chris Ryder's another one. I've seen Chris Ryder sit and talk for a good 45 minutes to an hour on the theme that, oh, yeah, Muckster and Finkel, why does anybody even care what they say? I don't care what they say. They got like 8 people watching them. They're unimportant. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Muckster and Finkel. Nobody cares. If you don't care, why did you just talk about us for a fucking hour? And that's what Todd does, the same thing. I don't even watch. I don't care what Muckster says, but I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes telling you that I don't care what Muckster said. I remember when Hill Pirates was making fun of his haircut, and the next day Todd had a different haircut. But he doesn't pay any attention to people. Todd gets everything he does from everyone. Todd can't create. Yeah. Never had an original thought. Yeah. I really think. See, now I'm going to go and do the psychology thing because I had 2 psychology classes in college, so I'm totally qualified to diagnose people. I think the whole combination with Todd of like being abandoned by his mother, and I am sure he had no friends in school. I mean, you could just see that all over him, despite his stories about being a cheerleader and a football player and a semi-pro volleyball or whatever he says about. Which, by the way, seriously, he talks about being a cheerleader and lifting girls up. Todd, imagine Todd like in 10th grade lifting a girl up. Her feet would still be touching the floor. But anyway, I don't even remember what I started to say about that. But yeah, he does. He has to invent all this stuff, and it makes sense because he had no life. He has to expound on his on being a veteran because that's the only thing that's ever happened in his life that he thinks is worth bragging about. I don't know what that was to, but Cart says not one. Alan. Oh, hey, there's GMK. How you doing, GMK? And of course, GMK, he always comes in. The first thing he says is, "Hello, Cart." It's like Muckster can go fuck himself. Let's see. Todd's famous Muffet came from, yes, I think so too, Jimbo. It's another one that he thought he's the first one to start calling people Muppets. Uh, uh, oh, yeah, smartass. Muckster, you're always on point. Stay solid. Thanks, Brick. I do try. You know, if I am talking about serious stuff, I try. And let me say this about myself too. Not that I like to brag, but I'll brag. I think, like you people have known me for what, like 2 years now or so, and I gotta say, over those 2 years, I think all three times that I've been wrong about something, I've admitted it. I was a semi-pro cheerleader. Yeah. Um, if he didn't have a basement to dwell in, GS would be a Darrow. Google if you want to know its meaning. I'll have to actually. I don't know what a Darrow is. From context, I have some ideas. We all have to remember Cart does not speak English. It's a second language to her. With Todd, it is. Oh, and hello, Gregory. I don't think I noticed you come in before. Hey, GMK. Doesn't that sound, speaking of cheerleaders, doesn't that sound like something the cheerleaders would be doing on the sideline? Hey, GMK. Let's says hello to Gregory. GMK wants my Aussie slang so he can butter me up. I'm totally gonna let that go. You know, and I'm guessing there's a few guys that are with me on this. You got an image there that we won't do on a family show. I think let's see. Greg said hello to Let's. Father loves the army because once sworn in, your teammates couldn't throw you off the team. Uh, uh, oh, sure. An hour later, he says hello. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Whatever this is, hey, Muckster, go duck yourself and hello, everyone else. Now I'm out. This isn't my type of stream. Yeah, you really ought to talk to your urologist about your stream problems. Just a heads up for Tube Steak Todd, his high school yearbook has the football team in it. Oddly enough, Todd wasn't listed as being on the team. I mean, I could have guessed that, and I mean, I'd like to actually see the proof again. But another little clip I heard of Todd that day was when he said he used to always go and pick the largest guy to line up across from. Which, I mean, right off, it's bullshit. But secondly, I may be wrong. Maybe it's different in other parts of the world. But as far as I know, in organized football, you don't decide where you're lining up. You've got your coach or maybe your team captain who says, okay, we're running the 5-3. And so you go and get in your position for what the 5-3 is. You don't say, oh, wait, no, I don't want to line up in the 5-3. I want to go over and line up against that guy. Because that's when your team captain says, Muckster, get off the field. Hey, Sammy, come in and take Muckster's place. Just okay, what to do? I'm a foreigner and I'm proud. Well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be, because you're not an American. Only Americans get to be proud. Are those messages from the other room? Probably, yeah. That's why I'm highlighting everything, because I did this. I don't actually like to do the two-room thing a whole lot, but like I said, this one, I wanted it to go out to Shadow Finkel because I knew some of the attention it would attract. I was going to make it just on mine, but that's why I also made it plain in the description. And I mentioned at the beginning that Finkel had nothing to do with this. Oh. Gregory says he's new here. Court says it's fun. The jumping, I believe. GMK says a little bit, but GMK is still worn out from our marathon the other night. And Cart says hello to Killen 10 minutes after he leaves. Todd also said he was so popular he was elected class president. Yeah, but that's not true. Turns out it wasn't in high school because it has someone else listed. Yeah. I mean, really, again, I said earlier, I don't like to do the speculation thing. I want to see proof. But, I mean, this Todd really seemed like the kind of guy who was really popular in high school. Elected class president. So, how long did I extend this one? It's going on an hour. Again, this was supposed to be just a couple minute thing to make fun of that video. Get Jackie with Todd. He talking about. I'm not sure what that. Oh, oh. Yeah. Okay. So again, thanks for tuning in. I covered much more than I had planned to. If you want to know what this was actually supposed to be about, go back to the beginning where I show the video somebody sent me and my comments on that. I think if you're new to the Muckster, you may get the idea that I'm not a big, generally spastic fan. You might intuit that. Again, thanks for being here, folks. Maybe see some of you later. Who knows? I am